everything right, it was you and me.
Hello my beautiful friends of the internet, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. And we have a different location today. We have a different setting. If you've been here for a while, you definitely would have seen my living room at my college apartment. It's crusty, I know, but like, what can I do? Honestly, I have no idea where to film here. I feel so much more comfortable filming at home, but it's my last year of college and we won't have to deal with this much longer when I get my non-crusty apartment. But we're not here to get into all of that. Today we are doing back to school / fall romance book recommendations. I love this. I did this last year and I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun talking about fall. Fall is my favorite season. I'm a Libra. I was born in October. I just like thrive the most when it's fall, I feel. Yeah, I'm just super excited to sit down. I know you guys love fall too. I mean, who wouldn't? I was watching Real Housewives the other day and Shannon from OC, she was talking about how much she hates fall. It's like, who wants to celebrate the death of things, like the death of leaves and like things dying? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm a weird person like that. I just love that. It's so comforting to me. So that is what we are talking about today. Not things dying, but like romance books, and also back in the city. And I live on like the busiest street in my city, so there might be some cars honking, you might hear some argument, people tussling down there, and I'm also on the second floor, so I'm just super close to the ground. So sorry if that like sneaks in. I try to pause and like edit it out, but sometimes it kind of sneaks in and I don't notice it. Without further ado, let's get into the fall / back to school romance book recommendation. And I will have my previous one that I filmed linked down below. The first book that I'm going to recommend is a book that I read recently during the summer and I loved it so much. That is The Rivalry by Nikki Salone. I love this book and I went into it not knowing exactly what it was going to be about. I knew it had to do with football, but like I didn't know much. And so this follows our heroine and our hero, and they both go to two rivaling schools, Ohio and Michigan, which I looked into it. It's a real rivalry. I was shocked to see how much people from Ohio hate people from Michigan and vice versa. Our heroine has been really raised and immersed in Ohio State culture. Dad was like the football coach. Her mom was a cheerleader and now she's a cheerleader for Ohio, and she absolutely hates Michigan. Like, she cannot stand it. She ends up meeting this football player who plays for Michigan, but she doesn't know that he plays for Michigan. They kind of meet at mutual friends' weddings. She decides not to talk about sports at all because she can be very obsessed. It can consume the whole conversation. So she's like, nope, I'm not bringing up sports at all. I'm kind of into this guy. And then she finds out that he's from Michigan and things go a little bit downhill. Like I told you guys, she is like the captain of Ohio's cheerleading team. It would just be really bad if it got out that she was dating a Michigan player. It was a little bit silly and a little bit like, don't think I would care that like my boyfriend goes to the rivaling school and plays for the rivaling football team. But it was like so fun, and it was so fun, so silly, and it just really felt like a big fall hug to me because it was so football-y, and I loved that so much. It wasn't so much as like play after play, game after game. Like, you didn't see that, which I don't typically love in romance books, but it was just the whole atmosphere of on two different campuses and fall, and she's going to cheerleading practice. That is so like American fall, and it was so much fun. So I would highly recommend that one for fall romance recs. Okay, the next book that I'm going to recommend is actually a series. I'm sure you guys have all heard of it, but this is going to be your push to pick it up. It is the Mindf series by St. Abby, or Stabby. I just love that like her pen name says Stabby. It's very fitting for the book. 5 little novellas. They're each 100 or less pages long. You can buy it in a bind up or read them like separately like I did on Kindle Unlimited, and this just screams fall. So our heroine, Lana, she is a serial killer. She's going around killing people, killing men for good reason. At first you're kind of like confused. You're like, oh, okay, what's going on? But like when you find out why she is like slaughtering these men, I was rooting for her. Let me just say that. And so she ends up getting into a relationship with the private investigator or the FBI agent who is on her case. She isn't really like deceiving him. She didn't fall in love with him or get into a relationship with him to throw her off his scent. Like, they just genuinely liked each other, and he has his day job of being an FBI agent trying to find out who's killing these people, and she is the one doing it, and it is phenomenal. 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪 is truly one of the most like badass heroines that I've ever read about in my entire life. She is so cool, so cunning and smart. I just loved reading every aspect. I just loved reading all about her. She really had him fooled. It was not really like in a malicious way, if that makes sense. Like she wasn't going out of her way to lie to him and like just play him as a fool. So addicting. I binged it like most people do when they read the series, and I still have never felt, I don't think, as addicted to like a series where I'm just like reading the books back to back to back to back like I did with this. They were so short, so addicting, and they just scream. They're just so fall coded. Like I don't know how to explain it, probably because it's like a serial killer. It does get kind of like, I want to say it's a bit like gruesome, but it's not so gruesome, at least for me. It's just really addicting, and I would highly recommend it for fall. The next book that I'm going to recommend is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I love this book. I read this book and I think it's probably my favorite from Mariana Zapata thus far, from everything that I've read from her. This is just the best vibe. Small town, mountainy. I could kind of say it's like a bit of a winter vibe as well, but honestly when I think about it, I just think of fall. So our heroine is moving back to the small town that she grew up in. She had to move away when her mom died when she was younger, but she's back and she kind of wants to I think she just had broken up with her boyfriend and she just needs like a break from life. She wants to restart her life, and she moves back to the town that she originally grew up in. She's not been back in years. I think since she left she has not been back. So she finds like an Airbnb and rents it. It's like a garage apartment, and she's renting it out from this guy. Doesn't know much about it. She just knows that she is getting her Airbnb. Well, when she arrives, she finds out that the person who's actually renting out their garage is the hero's 16-year-old son. The dad finds out and he is absolutely pissed off. He's like, no, he's a very like rough mountain man. He likes his space. He doesn't like anybody encroaching on him and his family and what he's doing. He's like one of those guys that are just very grumpy. He agrees to let her stay, is pissed at his son, but he agrees to let her stay. What can he do? And it's an age gap romance. He is much older. His son is like 16 years old or in his teens, and she's probably like early 20s. The romance between them, that's all I really want to say without giving too much away. But like the tension in here was amazing, like so good. When they start to realize that they like each other, first of all, she's a bit like oblivious. Like he starts calling her Angel and she's like, my name is not Angel, it's Aurora. Why does he keep calling me Angel? And I'm like, really, girl? Really? I mean, obviously he knows your name is not Angel. Just like little things like that, but like it was so good, and you just really see him start to get jealous when she starts dating other people. He's always concerned about her safety. She has goals while she's in the town, like she wants to hike like some mountains that are pretty dangerous, and he's just so concerned about her safety. He really cares for her, and it is a phenomenal romance, and it just screams fall. Like the vibe of the small town is so cozy and so cute. I loved it so much, and it's definitely a book that you should pick up this fall for sure. The next book that I'm gonna recommend is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. It screams fall as well, but basically because of football. Our hero is a professional football player, and so football to me is just fall. Like Thanksgiving, wearing blankets to the games, and like it just screams fall to me. So you don't really associate football with fall, then this is kind of like null and void. But like if you do, this is a great sports romance, football. We have our heroine and our hero, and these two are besties. They have been best friends for the longest time. It's a little bit of a mutual pining situation. When she has a boyfriend, he dating someone, and they can never really they're always dating someone at different times, and the timing is always off. She was a professional like ballerina, and then something happened to her. Now she teaches. They're both very in love with each other. They don't know, and one day Bree, the heroine, she is very drunk, and they're out one night, and she's in the bathroom, and she just accidentally spills her guts about how much she is in love with Nathan to a reporter. Now the entire world thinks that they are together, they love each other, they're like madly in love, and they can't do a damn thing about it because he is about to be in the Super Bowl, and they sign like some type of contract, but they have to fake date now. Lines get very blurred. Isn't acting very friendly towards her anymore. Like it's getting very romantic in here. Fake dating, best friends to lovers, mutual pining, and it is so much fun because they're like, she's like, oh, let me stop overthinking this, but he's like, no, overthink this, like I want you, and he'll like do things to show that like he cares about her more than just a friend, and she has to like I'm overthinking because she's a little bit delulu and she doesn't realize that he likes her. And when she starts to feel like that, she thinks that she's delusional for even thinking like that, because obviously he's just playing a game to the world. And it's just really fun and so cute and wholesome. It made my heart like flutter. I remember I was really into this book when I was listening to the audio. Yeah, this one is just gives the best fall vibes. And the last book that I'm gonna recommend for this fall season is a little bit of a dark one, and that is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. This one is definitely one that I feel like I would recommend closer towards October, because this had me scared. Like, I was genuinely scared while reading this book. We have our heroine. She absolutely cannot stand her sister's fiance. Now, these two went to school together. They all went to school together and they hate each other. Always playing pranks on each other. They're always just showing their dislike for each other. It's kind of like in a friendly, bantering way, but like deep down, they do not like each other at all. At all. One night, our heroine, her sister, and her fiance are out drinking at a bar, and our heroine decides to stay a little bit longer and keep drinking and hanging out till she finds that her car keys are stolen and like her wallet, so she can't like pay for anything and she can't pay for an Uber. She calls up her sister's fiance and is like, hey, I'm still here, somebody stole my things, can you please pick me up? While she is outside waiting for, you know, her sister's fiance to come, she runs into this guy. He's giving off the worst vibes, super creepy, super weird. She's like, absolutely not. The fiance pulls up. That weird creepy guy asks if these two are dating, and they'll say no, hell no. So they start driving away. He's giving her a bit of shit for like getting her things stolen. Suddenly they get pulled over by the police, is what they think. It is actually the creepy guy who is outside that bar, and he has like hit them over their heads and kidnapped them, and they wake up locked downstairs in his basement. Let's just say definitely check the trigger warnings for this. There's trigger warnings for sexual assault, rape, and just like not things that you would typically read in like a normal romance. They find out that the guy who has kidnapped the girl is, you know, is doing things to her, and then he starts making the sister's fiance do things to her as well. They end up escaping, obviously, and they're having a really hard time like emerging back into the real world. They're the only people who have ever survived. Like this guy, I don't want to give too much away, but like he has done this a couple of times, and he's been dubbed the matchmaker or something like that, where he gets two people that don't know each other or don't like each other to fall in love and then kills them. Obviously, like he was engaged to sister. They have to just act like everything's fine when it's not, and they have serious trauma, and they are the only people who know what they went through, and they really find like comfort and solace within each other, so much that it kind of becomes unhealthy. Don't want to give too much away, but just know that this is definitely a romance. It is amazing, and it is, I feel like right now is the perfect time to read it in the fall months because it's very spooky. I was scared. I went into it blind, so please don't make that mistake. I did not know what I was getting into, and let's just say I went on a wild ride, and it was very addicting and really sad. It made me cry. Please look into the trigger warnings before you read this. I know there were some other ones that I just can't remember. Yeah, check it out for sure, especially now if that sounds like anything at all you would be interested in. And that was the last book that I'm recommending for fall romance book recs. I feel like we had a good mix of like cutesy, cozy fall football, and then a little bit of darker romances that just give fall vibes. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And I will see you very shortly in a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.